Good morning to everyone. Welcome to Genesis Center for Spiritual Living. Please stand and sing our opening song, I'm Choosing Heaven Today. So, I'm so glad you're here and chose to spend the morning with us. All right, the purpose of Genesis is to be a sanctuary for the soul grounded in universal truth. My name is Randy Singer, and I'm a spiritual practitioner here at Genesis, and I'll be your host today. All right, our online host today is Cal. So if you're watching on Facebook or online anywhere, just please hello to everyone in the comments, share your reactions, and make a connection. So let's read the Genesis vision and mission statements together. Okay, it works. All right, our vision. Genesis empowers everyone to express their authentic nature as unconditional love. Mission. Our mission, okay, wow. Genesis is an inclusive spiritual community that honors vulnerability, educates, celebrates, serves, and inspires our members, our community, and our world. Okay, so let's do some announcements. Oh, not such a terrible death to die today, okay. All right, Summer 2026, Reclaiming Joy After Loss with Cynthia Zink and Diane Dyer. Today from 12 to 1:30 p.m. via Zoom, Reclaiming Joy After Loss with Cynthia and Diane. This caring, safe support group helps mend the heart of anyone experiencing loss. Links are on the calendar on the website or in the newsletter. Reach out to Cynthia for assistance or questions. Coming soon, embodying our spiritual vision in July of 2026, the whole month of class exploring diversity, equity, inclusion, justice, and belonging through the lens of Science of Mind and the CSL Global Vision. Together, we'll deepen awareness, uncover personal and cultural biases, and build tools for creating more inclusive and compassionate community. Classes meet Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific on Zoom from July 1st to July 29th, 2026. Registration's available online. We recommend this course for anyone wanting to deepen their spiritual practice by expanding their understanding of inclusion and belonging. This will fully help to embody our oneness and shared global vision for our world. All right, so also coming up, Labyrinth Walk with Reverend Dr. Mary Ellen Johnson. I've done this a few times, it's awesome. Okay, so join us for Labyrinth Day on Saturday, July 19th. Reverend Dr. Mary Ellen Johnson will speak at 10 a.m. followed by a fellowship at 1 p.m. Stay for a special workshop on labyrinth walking and the opportunity to walk a 30-foot labyrinth modeled after the one at Chartres Cathedral. Additional outdoor labyrinths and finger labyrinths will be available, with the outdoor labyrinth open all day once completed. Come experience the ancient practice of moving meditation and spiritual reflection. Okay. Okay. I'm looking for our first-time guests. We're so glad you're here with all of us this morning. If this is your first time, we'd love to connect with you. You can know everyone prefers a different method of communication, so you can fill out a connection card and drop it in the offering basket later in the service, or scan the QR code on the card. This will open up a personal line of communication. We want to provide you important information to give you everything you need to learn about Genesis and what we do here. If you have any questions, please stop by the welcome table, and they would love to chat and give you a free gift. Okay, so now, the meet and greet. Now that we've welcomed our guests, let us welcome and greet one another. If you aren't comfortable with hugging, you can stick out your hand and we'll shake it instead. Namaste hands are a good choice for contactless greeting. You may stay seated if you prefer not to mingle. Let's see. So let's cue Becca, and after about 2 minutes, we'll come back and bring the gong in. Okay, that was fun. I'd like to take this time to thank everyone that is in service today. So cleanup and setup, we got the usual suspects. Everyone here who's available before and after service can help out with that. Morning greeter, we've got Christy. Projector and video, we've got Gideon. Our online host today is Cal. Sound tech, we've got Jim and his special friend Pedro. Offering collection, we got Christy. Our visual practitioner at home is Reverend Rose, and our musician today is the lovely, wonderful Becca Palm. Okay. So we're grateful to everyone who showed up in service on Sundays. We can't pull this together without you. If you would like to be a part of the Genesis service team, yes, my voice is changing at 50. Please connect with Gideon after the service or inquire at the welcome table. So go ahead and remain seated and join us in singing our centering song, Breathe and Turn Within.
I breathe and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I breathe and turn within.
All right, I'm back as the practitioner. My name is Randy Singer. I am a practitioner here at Genesis, and I'm going to do a reading here from Living the Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, and then we'll follow it up with some prayer. So if you're following along at home, I know you are. Disease is not first cause on 220. The basis for correct spiritual treatment starts with the idea that being is already perfect. The idea of perfection is the spiritual power which heals. From the standpoint of pure spirit, an unknown or hidden false cause would be just as unreal as known or revealed one. Therefore, we must know that disease is neither cause, medium, nor effect. From the standpoint of pure spirit, wrong action had no beginning, it had no duration, and it will have no climax. The treatment we give is an activity of the law enforcing this truth. Your use of the law being on a higher plane of consciousness than the state of thought which produced the discord must therefore erase it, and you must know that it will do so. You know that mind or spirit is pure, perfect, and complete, manifesting itself in a physical form in and throughout all nature. The government of good is enforced through the law of man's own divinity. Power exists, and the action of this power is upon your word, and your word acts upon the power. No one knows which. For all practical intents and purposes, that power acts upon your word. Okay, so we just take this time knowing that our word is power, and we bring into manifestation, into action, into expression, our thoughts, our feelings. When we activate our thoughts with feelings, we know that God is activating that, is as and through right here and right now. And in the future, when we realize that, oh, that just happened, So let's just take this moment right here and right now to know that God is good, that life is good, and that each of us is in charge of our thoughts and how we feel about things and how we respond to whatever is happening. We are at power over our thoughts and our actions, and that is perfection. So I know right here and right now that God is good, is already expressing perfectly time action being, and it is good. And I say thank you, God, and so it is. Okay, so So now we got a special musical guest, Becca Palm.
Isn't it amazing? You can wake up on a Sunday morning and come somewhere and hear that read to you. We've been walking this road together for a while. We know each other's names. We know each other's smiles. Today, let's go a little deeper than before we've been. Let's open up the windows and let the light come in. Yeah, open up and let the light come in. Open, wide open, hearts out, minds free. Open to each other in community. Come on in, there's room here. Move in close, drop your fear. We're open, we're right here. We don't have to have it figured out today. Sometimes the bravest thing, it's just to stay. Look somebody in the eyes and say, I see you. And feel it when they say, I see you too. Yeah, I feel it when they say, I see you too. Open, wide open, hearts out, minds free. Open to each other in community. Come on in, there's a room here. Move in close and drop your fear. We're open, and we're here. It doesn't take perfection, it doesn't take a plan, just a willingness to reach out and take somebody's hand. And when the load gets heavy, your fear starts closing in, we'll turn towards each other and we'll open up again. We'll open, wide open, hearts out, minds free. Open to each other in community. Come on in, there's a room here. Move in close, drop your fear. We're open, yes, we're open, and we're here. Open, we're open, and we're here. We're right here. Right here. We're right here.
So glad to have everyone here. I want to start off with our new old tradition of celebrating birthdays. The sun has moved into Cancer. And so instead of doing birthdays by month, we're doing it by the sun sign. So anyone whose birthday is between June 21st and July 22nd, I don't think anybody in here is. But we'll still be, the transiting sun actually affects us all as it goes through. And I want to explain I know we have astrology true believers, astrology skeptics. And I want to explain, I don't give credence to the idea that, anyone can, but I don't give credence to the idea that it is the movement of the stars that affect our bodies, our moods, and the world. What is going on is that the ancients noticed that there was a pattern, there was a rhythm to life. And they found that there was a connection between the sky, between the rhythm of celestial objects and what we were finding on Earth. And so this is where astrology comes from. Gideon's pointing at Becca.
Yeah. Do you have a birthday in July? No. Okay.
But Randy had one recently, and I thought he did, but this was April.
Okay. So what I want to point out is, so we're more interested in what happens as we move into this time. Cancer is named Cancer after a crab, and it's a famous crab, well, famous to ancient Greeks. Herod told this particular crab that he was to go on a suicide mission for her. And he was like, Hera, I would do anything for you. And so the crab has been immortalized in the heavens. And also through the expression of this astrological symbol. The crab is sort of hard-shelled and a little pinchy on the outside, but once you get past the surface, it's full of love and emotion. And so that's what it's like, is as we move into Cancer, Cancer's a water sign, so that means it brings us more emotion. It's a cardinal sign, so it initiates things. And it's ruled by the moon, which is about our home. And this is sort of our greater home, our home not just where we sleep at night, but also where our community is, and that part within ourselves where we find ourselves at home. And so notice this month, or lean this month into feeling your emotions, protecting your home, embracing, the love and the connection with your home. It's a difference from last month. We were in Gemini, which is mental, social buzz, very intellectual, and Cancer is much more emotional and moving us into that realm. And it gives you perspective. So we should honor our inner landscapes. Cancer rules the subconscious memory and our emotional roots. Turn inward, slow down, honor your feelings without judgment. The Sun in Cancer asks you to focus on what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel anchored, and what makes you feel truly belonging. So we're going into, this month is about higher, deeper love. This week we're talking about love lifts us up to where we belong. And our contemplative question is, how are you actively co-creating a world that represents this higher, deeper love? And I'm going to spend some time, actually a lot of time, going through some examples of how people co-created higher, deeper love. But let's say our affirmation together. I am consciously co-creating a higher, deeper love in the world. Once again, I am consciously co-creating a higher, deeper love in the world. That's sort of a long one as these affirmations go. But it is really about co-creating. I'm going to talk about, I'm going to jump to bell hooks. So bell hooks we've been talking about all month. Bell hooks is an African-American scholar who grew up in rural Kentucky, was educated at Stanford and University of California at Santa Cruz, taught at Yale and in New York City before she came back to Burien College, which is a cooperative college that's free for students that work their way through college. So it's very cooperative. And her big lesson is the way to combat oppression and a domination culture is by loving those near you, collecting your intimates, taking care of your own, and taking care of other people. It's through love and kindness is the way to combat a domination culture. And we'll see a bunch of examples of this. She's going to talk about angels. And I want to say I don't think Ernest Holmes has an opinion about angels. My opinion is that I have close friends who see angels and talk to angels all the time. With me, I just experience the effects of me blowing it and the angels pulling me out of the fire. And I'm very grateful that they managed to do this. So bell hooks says, angels bear witness. They are guardian angels who watch, protect, and guide us throughout our lives. Sometimes they take human form. And I've met those. I've met lots of humans who seem like angels in form, who just make everything right. At other times, they are pure spirit, unseen, unimaginable, just forever present. Angels represent for us a feeling of innocence, a vision of innocence, of beings not burdened by guilt or shame. Our cultural passion for the angelic expresses our longing to be in paradise, to return earth to a time of connectedness and goodwill, to a time when we were heart whole. And this, we know this, 78% of Americans believe in angels. Despite being a secular society, way more people believe in angels than believe in a higher power. And it's because we always find the effects of angels in our lives. We run into these earth angels. Angels are given a childlike visage to remind us that enlightenment comes only as we return to a childlike state. We see angels as light-hearted creatures in swift motion, reaching for the heavens. Their being and the weight of their knowledge is never static, always changing. They see through our false selves. So this is the nice thing about angels too. They see our true selves through our false selves. If we've got our Cancer the crab up, pinching hard-shelled, they can see right inside to our true selves. Possessing psychic insight and intuition, the wisdom about the heart, they stand for the promise of life fulfilled through the union of knowledge and responsibility. Knowledge and responsibility brings the angels. As guardians of our soul's well-being, they care for us, they care with us. Our turning towards the angelic is evocative of our yearning to embrace spiritual growth. So this is how we know we want spiritual growth. You turn towards the angelic because the angelic brings us the fruits of spiritual growth. It reveals our collective desire to return to love. Ernest Holmes says, "Love is kind, gentle, and understanding. It is tolerant of others and reaches back through indifference and coldness to life, to something warm and pulsating at the center of everything." Love is at the center of everything. Love is something that the more you give, the more you get back in return. But refusing to give it out seems to short-circuit the possibility of its returning. So we've talked about this. The main benefit of love is by being loving. But everybody's looking for love. And if you aren't loving, even if people love you, you won't notice. It won't benefit you. It'll never be enough. What's enough is to love. And then your heart's open so you can receive that love. So to co-create our world, we intentionally infuse our desired vision with deep love, holding it as already accomplished within divine mind. Can we go to the next slide? So this is our famous learning glyph. And so up here in divine mind is heaven. It's full of love. Pushes through, and here's our three-dimensional world. In between here is the causal world, the world of mind. And this has got, law is sort of the good ideas. That law is spirit acting powerfully in our behalf. And over here are automatic behaviors. This is where bad ideas can get you in trouble. But we can, love can push through, and we have several examples today of love pushing through. I want to start with one of my personal heroes who I've been following for decades. Bob Thurman recently died. He died last week. And I felt like ripping up my sermon and doing one on Bob Thurman because he is so important to me. But instead, I gave myself a week, which is good because I've got pictures and a map. Bob Thurman was born in 1941, the child of his father was a journalist and interpreter, and his mother was an actress. So he has that dramatic sense to him and is good with languages. When he was 17, he was about to graduate from Phillips Exeter Academy. But with just weeks to go, he decided, I need to change the world. And what did he do? He went to join Castro's rebel army to defeat the dictator in Cuba. He was not able to do that. And we'll find his life was directed in more positive ways than shooting at the people he didn't like. So he ended up moving to India, to Dharamsala, where lots of Tibetan monks and the Dalai Lama had moved because China was making it unsafe to be in China. And he taught these guys, these lamas, these tulkus, he taught them English so that everybody could communicate. He stayed with them for 5 years, during which time the Dalai Lama taught him personally and ordained him as the first American Tibetan Buddhist. And so he brought this power, and then he wrote 12 books about the history of Buddhism and the history of Tibet. And he created Tibet House, which helped launch connections and collaborations between Tibet, the Tibetan people, and America. So all the stories I'm about to tell you about Tibet all come from Bob Thurman, who I think you'll find did more with his life than just putting bullets in people he didn't like. So in Tibet, I'm going to dip into Tibetan history. I'm going to start off in the mid-700s. And in the mid-700s, Tibet was one of the most powerful nations on earth. Tibet exists on a plateau which is 2 miles high, and so it's very hard to get there from the land, and the air is pretty thin when you go up that high. I've spent time at that kind of high elevations and find myself sometimes getting altitude sickness. So the Tibetans, they could go and attack the caravans in the Silk Road and extract tribute from them. And they actually extracted tribute from the whole country of China. One year, the emperor of China said, "I'm not going to pay you tribute," and the Tibetan army came over and took over his capital and put in a puppet ruler until China paid. And then they went back. Why couldn't China attack? Because they'd have to climb up 2 miles worth of mountains under constant attack and then fight the Tibetans with everybody experiencing altitude sickness. And so this just wasn't going to work so well for them, especially with the Tibetans being such a powerful army. The Tibetans were also on horseback, and so they could outmaneuver most armies of that day. So the ruler, top of the world, what does he want to do? He says, "I want religion. I think we should be Buddhists." So he brought in a bunch of Buddhists, but he found that when you have a bunch of people whose answer to "you don't do what we want" is to bomb them with violence, this didn't work well for the Buddhists. They put up a bunch of Buddhist temples, and a lot of them got burned down or smashed or vandalized, and the Buddhist monks found that they were not welcome to live in the areas. So they were getting ready to leave. The advisor to the king said, "You need Padmasambhava." And Padmasambhava came up, and he knew what to do. He knew that he could see the world, he could see Tibet as a quilt of collective expression, a quilt of collective expression. So he didn't just see the hostility, he didn't see the blood feuds, he didn't see the fierce deities. He saw a quilt of collective expression, and he wanted to work with them, actively work with them to co-create a more beautiful, loving world. And he did. He actually, the literature of the time talks about the battles he had with these local deities, these fierce local deities. But what we know happened is that they all ended up converting to Buddhism, and they all brought a loving heart. But I want to show you 4 examples of them. So let's have the next slide. Mahakala. So this guy with the skulls on his head and 3 eyes, the third eye is for the enlightenment vision, and fangs, is a multifaceted protector deity. He tramples on your obstacles, and he severs your ego. So these guys, we know that when we're in our creative brain, when we're in our God brain, we have a sense of oneness. We can't really detect where we end and someone else begins. And then, of course, when we're in the part of our brains that get all the work done, we know exactly who we are and who you are and who everybody else is. But the ability to step away from our selfhood into oneness is something Mahakala does, as well as removing all obstacles. So next of our fierce deities, Vajrapani, all this fire. when I was first pursuing enlightenment, I was so full of anger and resentment and victimhood. I spent a lot of time visually burning down everything in my mind, blowing up nuclear bombs. I'm like, I don't want that thought, I don't want that thought, I don't want that thought. I needed Vajrapani, who I could just delegate it to. And Vajrapani would come in. Vajrapani is the fierce bodhisattva of power, embodying the sheer concentrated energy of all the Buddhas to knock out, to crush spiritual obstacles. So the next one, horse-headed, Hayagriva, conquers ignorance. And you can see this one, you know, it's funny, when you're looking for pictures of these guys, there are some that make them look super fierce and some that make them look sort of more loving. And the fierce ones, to me, they all look the same. They're all about flames and skulls and blood. And I think this is more interesting. Hayagriva brings wisdom to conquer ignorance. And then let's do the last one, the next one. Yamantaka is the bodhisattva of wisdom who conquers death. So death is the idea that we no longer exist, that we are the physical body alone, that we don't exist outside of that. It's also the idea that we're stuck in time. And what we know from our experience is that part of us lives outside of time, lives in eternity, you know, now and forever, while our bodies go through time. And that wisdom, I think, teaches us that death, we need not fear death, because we live outside of time, and we live outside, our true selves live outside our beautiful bodies, which I know are healthy and going to live a long, long time, just as long as we need them to. And our true selves means we don't need to fear death, because we are one with the love and one with the universe. So this is what Padmasambhava did in Tibet. He took these fierce guys and he turned them to work for us instead of against us. Instead of burning down the Buddhist temples, they inhabited the Buddhist temples and welcomed all their friends and families in there. So this was in the 750s. And so Tibet, when we talk about, you know, in Europe in the 1500s, they had battles between church and state. And in Tibet, this is a country where in 750, church won. The Tibetans collected their booty from China for a little while. Really, they stopped collecting it because they didn't need all that loot. They were fine with their heart and their love and their, you know, Buddhist temples up there on their high plateau. By 1258, Kublai Khan came, and Kublai Khan was the grandson of Genghis Khan, who conquered most of the civilized world. And Kublai Khan heard of Tibet, and he wanted this Buddhist religion for himself. And so he went up to Tibet and he learned Buddhism, and he and his generals learned to be Buddhist, and they ended up unifying China. One of the things, Genghis Khan had this great big empire, but after he died, it started to split up. And Kublai Khan is the greatest of all his successors, who managed to unify China under Mongol rule for hundreds of years. I always know, I don't know if you know this Samuel Taylor Coleridge poem that for some reason I memorized. In Xanadu did Kublai Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alph the sacred river ran through caverns measureless to man down to a sunless sea. And to me, it's not about a physical pleasure dome. It's about the joy of meditation, the joy of letting go of the world and moving into oneness. And that's Alph, the sacred river. Alph is it's the beginning of the alphabet, and this is where the flow begins. And a sunless sea is the void, the connection, the emotions within all of us. And then I'm going to jump forward to 1578, where we find out where the Dalai Lama, you know, the Dalai Lama is the 14th He's the 14th Dalai Lama. And the idea is he's a tulku. So these are bodhisattvas. These are people who, when they were enlightened at the end of their life, decided they were going to return to Earth to help bring this enlightenment to other people. Tibet has hundreds of these, most of them men, some of them women. And the Dalai Lama is the most famous because he's also the spiritual ruler of Tibet. He used to be the political ruler, but he gave that up about 15 years ago, I think, because he was finding he wasn't very good. He wasn't a very good political ruler. He was a much better spiritual ruler. But how did it start? Well, it started with a descendant, Altan Khan, of Kublai Khan, who'd converted to Tibetan Buddhism, and a man named Phagpa, who was the spiritual leader of Tibet. Altan Khan sent him a message saying, please come and talk to me. I want to convert Mongolia. I want to convert my kingdom to Buddhism. And he wanted to do it for the same reason his ancestor Kublai Khan did. People were having blood feuds. People were killing each other. The church service had sacrifices. He's like, no. Can't we just be nice? So let's go to the next. So it's a map. I'll try not to spend too much time on it, but I want to place this. So here is Tibet down here. And then here is sort of, it says the Mughal Empire. This is Pakistan. This is what's now Iran or Persia. This is the Altan Khanate. Oh, and here's China, the Ming Empire. The Altan Khanate, this is where our friend Altan Khan lived and ruled. And he got together with the man I'll call the third Dalai Lama, because that's how we'll remember him. The third Dalai Lama was the first one to take that title. But he found, well, the first thing he found was that Altan Khan was a direct reincarnation of Kublai Khan. And I can't tell you whether this is actually true. I can tell you, though, my mom used to believe strongly in reincarnation. And she would often tell me and her friends about the different lives they'd lived together, before we were born into this life. So I'm sort of influenced because from my childhood and hearing these stories about reincarnation. Thomas Troward, one of Ernest Holmes' biggest influences, he did live in India, which is a land of reincarnation, and he believed that reincarnation was a real thing, that things that you did during this lifetime would benefit you in your next lifetime. And Ernest Holmes didn't like to talk about reincarnation. He didn't think it was important because for Ernest Holmes, the recognition is that each of us is an individualization of the all. We are the big kahuna. We are the thing itself, right here, individualized. So why would you worry about being reincarnated as one little being out of billions? Ernest Holmes didn't see a benefit. But he didn't. He said, hey, if it works for you, fine. So it works for the Dalai Lama. What happened is the third Dalai Lama moved up to what is now Mongolia, over here. And the first thing he found was that Altan Khan was, according to him, a direct reincarnation of Kublai Khan, who unified China 200 years before. Altan Khan recognized and announced that the third Dalai Lama was the reincarnation of two previous, the first and second Dalai Lamas. The first one founded a university, the first university in Tibet, and wrote about a dozen books. And the second one created monasteries all over Tibet. And so they'd been involved deeply in setting up an infrastructure so that people can be better Buddhists and live better lives all over Tibet. And what the third Dalai Lama did was he translated all the major Buddhist works into Mongolian so the Mongolians could start to study it. And Mongolia, which for hundreds of years had been this fierce warrior race, racing around on their horses, conquering everybody and fighting amongst themselves, blood feuds, blood sacrifices, suddenly becoming Buddhism was cool. It turns out between 30 and 50% of Mongolian boys grow up to become monks, which has really decreased the population growth because monks in this form of Buddhism are required to be non-procreative, to stay single. But it also, more importantly, stopped them as a source of aggression and violence around the world. They became, Tibet and Mongolia became two sort of mirror Buddhist kingdoms. The fourth Dalai Lama, so when our friend, the third Dalai Lama, died after having written all these books, there was a fourth Dalai Lama who, as it turns out, was the great-grandson of Altan Khan, which was lucky. Because when he went back to Tibet, it turns out in half a century of absence, the Tibetans had decided that they liked blood sacrifices and family feuds. And so a Mongolian army came with the fourth Dalai Lama to bring back order to Tibet. And then the fifth Dalai Lama was born. The fourth Dalai Lama was the only Dalai Lama not born in Tibet so far. The fifth Dalai Lama made everything normal and good again in Tibet. And then we're up to the 13th Dalai Lama, who was the one who preceded our current Dalai Lama, who reorganized the administrative state in Tibet to make it fairer and more efficient and to use modern techniques. And then our friend, who learned English from Robert Thurman, who just died. Uma Thurman's dad, she's probably more well-known than he is. And the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, says, that he sees the benefit of Tibet being taken over by the Chinese as that now the world knows about Tibetan Buddhism. If he had stayed as a god king in his hermit kingdom up in the mountains, nobody would have ever known this. We wouldn't know about the secrets to taking fierce deities and making them into fierce fighters for independence, fighters for freedom, fighters for compassion. So this journey isn't about creating something new. It's about actively finding and celebrating the inherent beauty and wisdom that already exists within our shared human story. So let's right now, let's put our hands on our hearts and let's breathe into our hearts. Let's open our hearts to appreciation. Appreciation of the people who spent their lifetimes, of people who spent many lifetimes to uplift the human race, to make our lives better and more lovely. And as we open our hearts to appreciation, to love, we feel it filling our hearts, we feel it filling our bodies, we feel it filling the room. We feel it stretching out to anybody who's listening to this, anywhere, anytime, because love exists outside of time and space. We're all one right now. And I know that love, that divine presence, that eternal presence is here with me now, and it is here with everyone, and it fills the universe. This love, this divine presence is that power, is the thing itself, and I am an individualization of that. And I state my word that we all have the power to recruit our fierce deities to work for good. My word that we are all consciously co-creating a higher, deeper love in the world, and that we are manifesting this powerfully. We are bringing active co-creation and transformation into the world. And I am grateful for every agent of co-creation within the sound of my voice. I'm grateful for this practice. I'm grateful for the Tibetans, the Mongolians, the Dalai Lamas, and the Tulkas for bringing this knowledge, bringing this wisdom to the world. And I release this into the law, which always says yes, and operating with mathematical precision, surrounds, enfolds, protects, and empowers us now and forever. And so it is. So let's together say, let's go back to our, I am consciously co-creating a higher, deeper love in the world. Let's say this together a couple of times. I am consciously co-creating a higher, deeper love in the world. I am consciously co-creating a higher, deeper love in the world. And the secret is to find things you already love. This is why we have our gratitude circles. When you find things you already love, it connects you to other things that you already love. It opens your heart. It gives you the vision of what the world really is, instead of the cynicism. We're taught to only see the negative. And by seeing the positive, get us beyond the shell of the cancer into the insides, which is really what makes crabs operate, is the stuff inside. And yes, we can take our shells and our pinchers and use them for the good of humanity. Overcome obstacles, sever the ego. So I'm going to invite you to find your prayer card, or if you're at home, go to GenesisCSL.org and begin your prayer by writing down a prayer demonstration. And this is just like look for something you love in the world. Look for something that's working. Look for an instance where an angel made your life better. An angel rescued you, or an angel empowered you. And this is your prayer demonstration. And by writing down your prayer demonstration, that makes your prayers much more likely, much more powerful. They come true sooner, more strongly, more visibly. Now, another beautiful song from our own Becca.
I may not want to wear what you're wearing. You may not want to go where I go. But we can be together and learn from one another. Don't you think so? may not be seeing the same things that you're seeing. You may not know the same things that I know. But we can come together and share with one another. Don't you think so? Like the river needs the mountain so it can flow to the sea. The mountain needs the river to carve the deep valley. The mountains and the rivers, they make each other possible. We make each other possible, you see. We're not meant to be or do the same things. By nature, it's divine that we don't. We co-create each other, why not love one another? Don't you think so? We co-create each other, why not love one another? Whoa, don't you think so? Don't you think so?
Thank you, Becca.
Thank you, Randy.
All right. So, this is an invitation to participate in circulation to connect with abundance and generosity. Please take a moment to offer your financial gifts. Your gifts are tax deductible. If giving cash, please include your name on the envelope to have the amount added to the end of year statement. If you're online, please visit our website at GenesisCSL.org and use the donate button. You can use the QR code on the screen. You can text or give by sending an amount to the number on the screen. Your contributions make all of this possible. You are loved, you are appreciated, and you matter. All right. So, if you are called, hold your prayer request and your offering next to your heart as we say our offering blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am thankful. All right. So now Christy will collect the offerings and prayers as we pass the basket. If you're sitting on the end of the row, please pass it along. And join us in singing the song, I Give Because I Believe.
I give because I believe in love. I give because I believe in love. I give because I believe in love, and love is given to me. Joy. I give because I believe in joy. I give because I believe in joy. I give because I believe in joy, and joy is given to me. I give because I believe in peace. I give because I believe in peace. I give because I believe in peace, and peace is given to me. I give because I believe in love. I give because I believe in love. I give because I believe in love, and love is given to me. Love is given to me.
Okay, so we take all these prayers and these gifts, and we just take them as the blessings, because the prayers are we're getting activated through our attention, through our love, and through our perfection, knowing that we are activating this, and we know that each of these gifts is itself a demonstration of everything that led up to now, so that all that we've done has created this bounty to express right here and right now, and all of these prayers are more opportunities for bounty in the moment, in the future, and expressions of that will, of that connection, of that one spirit that is God right here and right now, and it is good, and I know it is powerful, and I know Genesis is powerful, and each of us is that perfect demonstration of God right here, right now, and it is good, and I say thank you, God, and so it is. All right. Thank you for joining us today. Please join us after service for food and fellowship. I'll be in the alcove right back here for those who want to pray with a spiritual practitioner. We're wishing everyone a week filled with joy, love, and true connection. So please stand and sing our closing song, Together We Rise.
Love, I'm holding love in my heart. Peace, I'm knowing peace in my mind. Joy, I'm feeling joy in my life. We are one and together we rise. Love, I'm holding love in my heart. Peace, I'm knowing peace in my mind. Joy, I'm feeling joy in my life. We are one and together we rise. Together we rise. Together we rise. Standing in beloved community. Together we rise. Together we rise. Through love, peace, and joy, together we rise. Together we rise. Together we rise. Standing in beloved community. Together we rise. Together we rise. Through love, peace, and joy, together we rise.